On the outside, I looked like everybody else. I don't think anybody would look at me and think, ooh, she's a gambler. I looked normal. I had friends, I had family, I went to church, went to school. I wasn't like the traditional addict when it comes to drugs or alcohol, where you could see the symptoms of my addiction on the outside. I wasn't drunk, I wasn't high. You could give me every blood test and breathalyzer on the face of the earth and I'd pass it, but I still had an addiction. It was everything. I had to do it. Everything in my brain, every cell in my body told me I needed to gamble to live. It was what I had to do. And whatever came in my way, I would knock out of my way so that I would be able to gamble. Nothing could stand in my way to do it. My gambling was slots. I really only ever played slots. I didn't get into poker or the lottery or bingo or anything like that. For me, I was an escape gambler. I gambled to get away from everything, to numb out. And the slots let me do that. I didn't have to think. You know, there were pretty pictures, some sounds in front of me, which really kind of all facilitated that numbing out. Kind of like when you're watching TV and you just kind of sink into it. That's what happens at the slots. At the peak of my gambling, I was gambling every day. There may be a day or two that I missed, but it was every day. Sometimes it would be twice a day where I would hop from one casino to the next so that they wouldn't notice that I was there again. I was gambling even on holidays, you know, Christmas, Mother's Day, every holiday in the book, I was there. When I think back to how much money I lost, I would have to say it's well over $100,000. I have had credit card debt. I had, school loans that instead of it going to school, it went to the casino. I sold books. I sold every piece of clothing and possession I had. I missed car payments. I missed everything. We were running out of money. Things just kept building and building and building. One missed bill turned into 3, turned into 5, turned into 10, and it was just nonstop. I often got to the point more than once in my life where I contemplated suicide. I got so far once as to, writing the note and making the plan. And one night, my family came to my house and they sat me down and they kind of did an intervention. And they said, here's the deal. We know that you're gambling. We know all of this is happening. It's up to you. Do you want to get help or, what we're going to figure out that you're done. We're done with you. And for me, that moment was such a relief. I went to meetings. I went to Gamblers Anonymous meetings faithfully, 2 a week because that was as many as were offered. And I went every week without fail. Middle of winter, 8 feet of snow, I was there. If I was sick, I was there. I made that my priority. I also saw a counselor and started working on myself, not just for the gambling, but for myself, learning healthy coping skills, learning how to deal with life, things I'd never done when I was younger.
People can move away from that addiction, that helplessness, that hopelessness that they feel when they maybe first start hitting bottom and maybe start reaching out for help, that there is life after gambling. And I think that's the hardest thing for people to understand, that, oh my gosh, and that's why people become suicidal, because they feel like my family would be better off without me. I've done so much damage, and Andrea is a great model of what can happen.
Right now, I'm working as the outreach coordinator at the Wisconsin Council on Problem Gambling. Yes, hi. Well, why don't you tell me a little bit about why you called today? I'm giving education, which can just be knowledge to these kids. Here's what gambling is. Here's how people get in trouble. But I know personally. And so I can share with them when the time is needed. Hey, I was here too. It's scary. I know it's scary, but it doesn't have to be hopeless.